with Bill Gates, is working with Bill Gates, who's buying up U.S. agriculture, as this front group is working to get more influence over the United States. At the same time, get this: ASDA chairman. This is BBC. ASDA chairman Stuart Rose. Food prices will keep rising. It says here, food prices will keep rising and stay higher for quite some time due to the high cost of raw materials. ASDA chairman Lord Rose said, many families struggling with the cost of living crisis are going to suffer. And again, the conservative peer warned, although retailers will try to keep food costs down. Folks, global crisis coming. Not only are they not trying to fix it, they're exporting our stores to other countries. CCP's front groups working with Bill Gates as he's trying to gain control again of U.S. farming, working as well with U.S. again agriculture in the U.S. As again you have shipments from Ukraine, shipments from Russia, fertilizer causing problems, and all of this is culminating, creating a crisis in and of itself. And in addition to that, the U.S. and other countries, Canada, others, are placing restrictions on fertilizer. And people like Samantha Powers, a U.S. official in charge of this stuff, is saying, hey, great, never let a good crisis go to waste. Yeah, sure, there may be mass starvation soon to come in like Africa. There may be people starving to death, but you know what? You know, the fertilizer supply is causing global warming, and so never let a good crisis go to waste. That's what they're telling you right now. That's the message they're sending right now. Now, let me show you. I have an interview I want to show you real quick with the Goya Foods CEO. This is Robert Inanue. It's about 10 minutes. I want to show you this because he answers some of the real questions a lot of you have. This guy is tuned into this. He's one of the largest food companies in the entire world. He knows what's happening. He himself is saying there is a food crisis coming. He's going to talk about the fertilizers and also the fires at these processing facilities. Let me show you this now, then we'll go into some questions. Anyway, thanks for being on Crossroads.
Thank you for having me. Please, thank you very much.
Now, everybody's talking about this food crisis. I know you actually came out and said there's going to be a food crisis, and I'd imagine you're the guy with the fingers on the pulse. What are you seeing in terms of this? You know, what justifies that statement? It's a strong statement. What justifies it?
Well, first of all, a policy of a war on fossil fuel, and policies that go against life, and these progressive policies that are really destructive. When you look at our policies where we abandon women and children in Afghanistan, now there's millions of women and children being exiled in Ukraine, and that's because we projected tremendous weakness. You know, it gave the green light to Putin, I believe. This morning you have North Korea saber rattling about nuclear. We're talking about nuclear as if it's, morning coffee, like it's another topic. And this is, we are on the precipice of food shortage, but we also are on the precipice of nuclear disasters. It kind of, I don't mean to make light of it, but it kind of reminds me of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, where Redford and Newman are on the cliff, and Redford says, I can't jump. And Newman says, why? He says, I can't swim. And then Newman says, he starts laughing. He says, well, the fall's going to kill you. So, that's the precipice we're on. And food is definitely one of those between Russia and the Ukraine producing 50% of our fertilizer. Here in this country, fertilizer has quadrupled. And people will be planting less and yielding less because of the cost and because of the lack of good yield. They produce 30% between them of the world's wheat, 20% corn. There's 2.5 million acres of sunflowers to be planted. They have sand for fracking, sand for glass, but none of these are going to be in southeast planted. In southeast Ukraine, where you have the planting season is now. They bombed the irrigation systems. They're cutting off the ports. Well, Mariupol and then also Odessa is next. They will landlock Ukraine and prevent them from exporting. But right now, the big problem is we're in the planting season, and people are not going to plant. It's going to send food prices spiraling. And the biggest component, again, of food is transportation. which is tied to us giving away our independence, our freedom by being oil independent and giving it away. Shipping it in a pipeline is free. But when you put it on a ship with rates 10 times what they were 2 years ago, we are buying oil at retail and making ourselves like, Joe Biden said in the campaign, no, they're going to put you all in chains. He's putting us in chains with this idiotic uh, philosophy of a war against fossil fuel, where we give up our independence. When you're not independent, when you're not free, you are a slave. And we have all the natural resources. We have food, we have oil, we have a mighty army, and you know we are a might to be reckoned with. But we are also the defenders of people around the world, the innocent and the defenseless. And if we fall, which you know that's not out of the realm, how weak we are. If we fall, who are we going to defend? Who is there to defend these people? Millions of women and children. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and that's concerning times we're in. Let's look at the granular level. You were talking about, kind of the realities of fertilizer. I mean, guys like myself, the most farming I ever did was, grandma's garden. You know what I mean? What does it mean practically if farmers don't have enough fertilizer? And what are the numbers on this? Like, what's the real situation with this? What does that mean for us?
Well, the numbers on fertilizers is they've gone up fourfold in this country.